way up high and there ain't no falling. Zero gravity with you here and I won't let go. I've been running a mile just to find my feet. Just finding a place where my heart can breathe. And all I know is holding you close, now you're here with me. Now it ain't a long way home, a long way home, no. Now it ain't a long way home, a long way home, no. Lost at sea, ain't no hope of rescue. Floating out here, set adrift on the big wide blue. I don't need no key if I'm right here with you. Now, I don't wanna get found as long as I'm lost with you. I've been running a mile just to find my feet. Just finding a place where my heart can breathe. And all I know is there ain't no place that I'd rather be. Now it ain't a long way home, a long way home, no. Now it ain't a long way home, a long way home, no.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week number 2 of Titan Esports Eternal League. Today's matchup, we have Subatomic Gaming Chameleons versus Conduit Esports Phoenix. This is week number 2, and I look forward to seeing what both teams are going to be able to bring to the table today. We're going to be jumping into this pick and ban phase momentarily. But I'm excited to see what both sides can do. Now, Conduit Esports is coming into week number 2, 0-1. But Subatomic Gaming Chameleons are actually coming into this 1-0. So I'm really excited to see what both teams can do for today. Now, I am your host, BG Smitty, and today our co-host is going to be Pikachu. Pikachu,
Hi.
go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Pikachu is my Discord name, league name by Sets Baby Girl. I am a support main and I play in the Conqueror League on Titan, and I'm excited to co-host my first league stream with you today.
And we are very excited to have you as well. Jumping into this pick and ban phase, we are seeing a Syndra ban coming out, followed by the Jinx from Conduit Esports. And we're going to have Subatomic Gaming banning out the Sway and Ivern. And we also see the Amumu coming out. So these bands coming out from Conduit Esports are phenomenal bands. Jinx is just a phenomenal AD carry. Syndra is in such a strong position that it has to be banned if you're not going to be wanting it. Amumu again with these AP items getting these increases is just a phenomenal ban coming out, especially if you're not going to be wanting it. But we see the final ban coming through for Subatomic Gaming to be the Mordekaiser. Now, I like the ban, but it seems like this ban is specifically targeted towards the top lane of Conduit Esports. So I'm curious to see how we're gonna go about this pick and ban phase. But we do see the B1 of the Volibear coming through, and I like this pick. I do. I like this pick. It gives great dive potential for Conduit Esports, and they can really make their team comp not so much around the Volibear, but they can make their team comp specifically of we want to go in. So I'm curious to see what else is going to come out from these pick and bans.
Yeah, I like that the Volibear can be kind of a flex pick too. I know most people still kind of play him top lane, so be pretty interesting where they decide to put him there. I don't know too much about these teams, so I'm not sure if the top laner's the volley main or the jungler.
This is true, yes. And I'm glad that you said that. That's actually a really good point that you made. The Volibear is a huge flex. It can go in the jungle, and it can go in the top lane. So being able to see Conduit Esports play around this, see what they want to pick, and build their team comp around it, and then also being able to see what Subatomic Gaming brings to the table, and then decide later in the draft is absolutely phenomenal. But on the side of Subatomic Gaming, we actually see them lock in this Udyr. Wonderful pick. Followed out by the Jhin. Jhin is honestly, it's complete S tier. He's just so strong. He's in a position right now that just absolutely can wreck anything and everything. As long as he's even, and if he gets ahead, it's just absolutely disgusting. But then on Conduit Esports, we see the beautiful Kai'Sa Nautilus duo bot lane. This is just an iconic duo in the bot lane. I love it. I love how it works. I love how the passive works with the dredge line coming out of the Nautilus. And this is just absolutely phenomenal. And it also pairs well with this Volibear that could be bringing the dive potential out of his ultimate. Now
yeah, and they seem to have picked the Taric pick to kind of survive that dive potential from the other team as well.
Yes, that it was actually a phenomenal pick, and it's crazy because I was actually just about to say that myself. And Taric, if piloted correctly, is just one of those champions that can really nullify everything that Conduit Esports wants to do just with these first three picks. But coming out for the second round of ban, we do see the LeBlanc coming out. LeBlanc is in such a great position right now. This is one of those champions that I really did not expect to be so strong with these item adjustments, but coming out with all these AP item adjustments, LeBlanc has really risen to popularity. Outside of the Syndra, the Orianna, the Hui, the Aurora, things like that, this LeBlanc has really started to rise in popularity across the board in all elos. So I think that's a phenomenal ban. And then on the side of Conduit Esports, they answer with a Gwen ban. Gwen is just
pretty solid.
It's a great ban, especially for what Subatomic Gaming is trying to do in this draft. I think that would have been a great pick on the side of Subatomic Gaming. So banning that out was absolutely amazing.
I agree. Talia. Okay. I like the Talia mid. Should have a lot of potential roaming. Oh, No, Oriana. Okay.
All right, yes, I absolutely love this. The Oriana, just in a phenomenal position right now, and that's a beautiful R4. But I do want to bring attention to these last two bands that came through, the J4 and the Aurora coming through uh, as bands. The J4 is just absolutely a phenomenal band because that engage with the rest of their team just can lock everybody down. But the Aurora as well uh, is actually a good band, but I figured that would have been a pick that Conduit Esports really wanted.
Yeah, well, it looks like they're locking in with the Ari. This seems to be a comp that you don't want to step up to at all. They're going full dive potential.
Yeah, and it's crazy because that first pick of the Volley Bear kind of said that from the jump. It was one of those picks that was like, okay, well the Volley Bear has to go in. This is gonna be one of those we need to see what's going on and just follow him up. And that's exactly what's gonna end up happening. And we get a last pick. What was that, Viego?
Mm-hmm.
A
Yep.
last pick Viego coming through with this Ari. And Conduit Esports has a phenomenal draft going in their favor. A beautiful team fight comp, amazing front to back, as well as pick potential as well with this dredge line, the Ari charms, things like that. All of this has very good
Mm-hmm.
pick potential, but if anyone gets called out or if the members of Conduit Esports can catch two or three members together and they have a full five, they'll be able to not only land the dredge line, bring the Stormbringer, bring the Killer Instinct, or dash forward with the Ari ult. It's just, and then on top of that, the resets coming out of the Viego, it's just going to be absolutely phenomenal team fighting coming out of Conduit Esports. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to be able to bring to the table. And then we finished the draft with a Jax top lane. I think this is a well-rounded pick for Subatomic Gaming.
Think so too, because if it's like a full team fight, you have Jax, both top laners in there, with blue side having full dive potential. Jax and Udyr are there to kind of stop that, but also Tarek is there for the backline to save them with his ult. So I'm pretty excited to see how this outcome will play out.
Yeah, no, both teams drafted phenomenally, and I absolutely love how they're bringing everything to the table in game number one. Now, mind you, these are best of 3 matches, and this is only week 2. Now, Conduit Esports is trying to get on the table and get their very first win underneath their belt. So I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do. Their team comp says, we're ready to fight. We're ready to bring it to you. And whatever you have, we can match it and we're going to do better. But on the side of Subatomic Gaming, not only do they have the potential to block this dive, but they have the potential to counter and re-engage if anything happens or any misstep comes out from Conduit Esports. And it's just absolutely a wonderful picks coming out from both teams. And I cannot wait to see what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Where's the... Do we have the timer on the...
No, so as of right now, we are actually waiting for them to finish the pick and ban phase of everything and everyone to get in position. We are just going to wait it out, make sure that there is no crazy funky plays and anyone going in any different direction. Things like this being that the Jax is the jungle and the Udyr's in the top lane, something like that. So we're just making sure that everyone is actually playing their roles, and we're going to continue to talk about these team comps and what we want to see out of both of them. We've already talked about how both teams can really take over a fight in both for both ends, but now we're seeing, I want to see what they're going to try and do or what their thought process is to try and get that early game pressure. Are they going to try and prioritize these grubs? Or are they going to try and prioritize these dragons? And that's what I really want to talk about. That's what I really want to see, what they should try and prioritize in this match.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too, especially the matchup between the two bot laners. I'm really interested on how that plays out because whereas Tarek doesn't really have any way, like once he's hooked, it's kind of hard for him to get away, but also he has that stun. If he can land that stun, you know, Jin can so combo up with that stun as well. And I don't know, it's kind of, they might be neck and neck depending on how it plays out.
Oh no,
Whether they respect Nautilus hook or Tarek lands those stuns really well.
oh no, definitely. This is 100% going to be a 2v2 skill matchup. But then if we bring it into the 3v3 matchup with this Viego and this Udyr coming through, because I do have confirmation that Jax is in the top lane and Udyr is in the jungle. So with this Udyr throwing into the mix with a possible 3v3 in the bot lane, in the early stages of the game, I have to give it over to the side of Subatomic Gaming. But if anything happens, if any misstep happens, we are going to see a snowball potential coming out from either side.
Yeah, that's very true. I agree with you there. I feel like, I don't know, between Viego and Udyr, who do you think would have the upper hand in the early game?
In the early game, I have to 100% give it to the Udyr. But if the resets can come through for this Viego, even without level 6, Viego can definitely start taking over this game.
Okay. I
But
definitely could see that for sure, yeah.
100%. But with that being said, we are going to go into our spectator delay, and I will see you all on the Rift. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in to the Rift for game number 1 against Conduit Esports versus Subatomic Gaming. We see Subatomic Gaming stacking up as 5, while Conduit Esports is deciding to do a 5-point. I don't know if they thought that there was an invade coming, but the Nautilus could have been a strong invade possibility.
Looks like they're trying to get some vision together just to stay safe. They are very threatened by that early gank Nautilus.
No, definitely. Having those defensive wards placed from Subatomic Gaming in the bot side river for possible entries, that was smart by them. And then double backing to make sure that no one went for an invade on their side. Though we do see a nice ward coming through from this Ahri on top of the Raptors, trying to figure out exactly where this Udyr is starting. We are going to have standard lanes. There's not going to be anything wonky, but Thundermake Buster was actually able to get a ward on Conduit Esports Raptors as well. So we're going to see who gets spotted first and what the information is that's going to come out from both sides.
Yeah, and those early deep boards really help the laners kind of figure out how aggressive they should be pushing their lanes. And wow, that was such a big chunk off of her health. They're like even in health now.
Yeah, both. Ooh, Thundermake Buster just barely getting tagged by that RIQ. They're really playing with each other's health bars at this moment. But Subatomic Gaming is gonna see this Viego on his chickens, and they're gonna know that he's coming for this gank. So let's see what happens. Is he gonna be able to get anything, or is he just gonna waste some time? Charges up. Ooh, a nice flash, but he's gonna miss the stun. The flash comes out from the Ahri, and the charm just goes wide. And Thundermake Buster is gonna be able to get out, and everyone expended their flash. This was a very good gank coming out of this Viego, and I'm excited to see how he's going to try and punish this Orianna while he can. But because he doesn't have flash, if he gets caught out himself by this Udyr, it could be detrimental for the side of Conduit Esports, but we're going to have to wait to find out.
So we got bot lane. Red side is actually taking over lane prio now. As I was expecting the Nautilus to be a little more aggressive, but I think he may be waiting his moment.
Ooh, flash coming out of the Udyr, but the stun's not going to follow. Jax was there, but now the volley's here to try and answer this. But we don't know if anything's going to come of it. They're trying to chase him out. The Ahri's roaming up, but mind you, there's no... Okay, a stun comes through. The charm follows. Now the counter strikes in. They're going to try and focus their damage, but their damage is split. Now the flash comes out of the Jax. This Udyr is just doing massive AoE damage, but the Udyr is going to go down. The first blood's going to transfer over to this Ahri, but Orianna's able to pick up another, and the Viego is going to be able to kill this Orianna, giving a nice 2-to-1 trade going in favor of Conduit Esports early in this game. Oh, is this Jax going to be able to get out? The auto attacks are coming through. The Q follows, and that's going to be another kill coming through for Conduit Esports, bringing them to 3-to-1. Just extremely early on in this game.
Ooh, that's going to be kind of tough for the red side, giving Viego that early lead that he needs to kind of excel throughout the game.
Yeah, no, he definitely was able to get ahead. This 2-0 lead is really going to be beneficial for this Viego. So, but the Udyr definitely has a faster clear speed. So it may not be the end of the world, but it's definitely going to be a little bit challenging. But oh, the stun comes through onto this Nautilus, and here comes the Udyr. Now they're turning all their focus, all their damage onto this Nautilus. He's just one tap, and the Udyr is going to be able to secure that kill. And everyone else is going to be able to get out unscathed. The Viego was nearby, but this clear speed coming out of this Udyr was the clear deciding factor of why he was able to get that gank off onto this Nautilus in the bot lane.
Now they're able to secure the dragon pretty safely here. Early dragon.
Oh, we must have had a pause
Oh,
coming through. If there's a pause coming through, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take us to our replay screen for the time being. Just for the time being. But okay, all right, and we are actually back into game. Which is a quick little pause, nothing too crazy. But we are gonna see this dragon going over into the favor of Subatomic Gaming. So, because they were able to get this, they're going to get a nice back off. But now, mind you, grubs are spawning in 10 seconds, and all of Conduit Esports is already standing by and ready for these things to spawn. So they're really going to prioritize these grubs, which I think is very smart.
yeah, and it looks like they'll be able to get the grubs without any issues because of their top laner having a lot of prio. Seems like their mid lane is keeping Ari pretty busy.
Yeah, he may not have
Support
had
on the
full
red
prio.
side. Yeah, support on the red side kind of was late to the action.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not the end all be all. They were able to trade three. They traded the 3 grubs, which is not the end of the world. But Subatomic Gaming was able to secure that very first dragon and that very early first dragon at that. So, because of this, both sides were able to trade massive early game spikes that could make or break the later stages of the game. But right now, we're seeing this Jhin stepping forward. The stun is not going to come through onto the Kaiser, but he does get rooted. They're going to back off of the Dredgeline lands, and now they're turning the focus onto this Tark. But Tark can heal, but Kaiser is a lot stronger than people give her in this early stages of the game, especially because
Yeah,
she
that
can
burst
crack that
damage
passive.
hurts.
Oh yeah, no, the burst damage that comes out from that passive, especially with a W hit, is absolutely disgusting. Level 1, even with just a Doran's Blade. But mind you, this Jhin is already sitting on a Dirk, where Kaiser has yet to have a back. So this Jhin is significantly stronger in these trades. So hold on, Udyr is trying to roam. He's trying to come down, but this is the 3v3 that we were talking about, and now they're trying to turn the tides onto this Viego, but he's gonna have to flash out. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the Charm's gonna come through on a Thunder McBuster. He's trying to get some type of damage down into this Ahri. Ahri's gonna dash forward. Now we're gonna have a massive shockwave coming through, but the Ahri is gonna end up going down in that 1v1, and Thunder McBuster is gonna be able to secure that solo bolo against the Ahri.
Wow, that's some quick fingers right there.
Absolutely, absolutely, and this actually puts Thunder McBuster on this Orianna in a very good position. He's gonna be able to get a very strong buy off of this, and it's only gonna push his lead that much farther.
Let's take a look at these items here. So Udyr has a we talked about this earlier. Now I forgot the name of that item.
Faded Ashes.
Yes, that one. So it looks like he has a component, whereas Viego got some boots and 2 components. I guess they're kind of, if you want to look at the type of items that they're building.
We did have another pause slightly, but it wasn't long at all. Someone must be having some ping issues on the Rift, but it seems to be getting itself figured out. This Viego, though, I'm going to assume is building a Triforce, but if he's not, it's got to be a Kraken, because I believe they have the same items outside of the Sheen. No, I think this is a Kraken going for the Viego. I believe this is the Kraken build.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. We see the Udyr. He's trying to counter jungle. He was able to get a stun, but he wasn't able to get anything else out of it. But now the rest of Subatomic Gaming is coming. A nice shockwave is going to come through, and that's going to be a kill. But the charm comes through, and Ari's just trying to get a little bit of chip damage. But this Tark is already there, and he's able to get some heals off onto this Udyr. And that was a beautiful counter invade, or jungle invade coming out from the side of Subatomic Gaming.
We got Ori with a 3-on-1 lead. have
Yeah.
that lost chapter, so she can really just spam her abilities, especially with that blue buff.
No, definitely,
So
definitely.
she definitely could take over this lane for now, for at the time.
I do want to bring your attention though to the Executioner's Calling coming out of this Jax early on. I think this is huge for the side of Subatomic Gaming. I'm a big fan of Grievous Wounds, and having that Grievous Wounds, because this Jax is going to be able to jump into the middle of these frays to be able to allow, or to be able to not allow this Volibear, Oriana, I'm sorry, this Volibear, Viego, and Ari not to be able to heal as much as they would like during these fights. Dredge line goes, but it's not gonna land. But I think this is beautiful itemization coming out from the Jax.
Oh yeah, he was able to land a pretty big chunk on Volley, and without that heal, it's kind of tough for Volley to really sustain himself against him, especially for the longer fights, which is what Jax wants.
Exactly, exactly. Jax definitely wins out on these longer trades against the volley, but the stun's gonna land, the root's gonna follow, but here comes the Nautilus. I don't think this is a winning trade for the side of Subatomic Gaming. They're gonna just have to let him go, but the counter strike comes through onto this volley bear. The ultimate's gonna come out of the Jax, but the volley ults, but now Jax is just going ham on him, and it's not gonna be enough. Dredge line lands. Here comes everything else, but now the ult comes through for the turret, make everybody invulnerable. The curtain calling comes, but here's the Ahri on the outside. The charm's gonna land. The flash comes through, and now the stun. Ahri's gonna have to jump to safety over this wall. He only has one charge left, and that's just gonna be some key abilities going down. But there's nothing that's really too prevalent on the rift that needs to be taken. So that was a nice little scrimmage coming out from both sides, but no one going down in the long run.
No, looks like Tarek's ult will be down for what, like
About a minute and a half.
4 minutes? A minute and a half, yeah.
About a minute and a half, 2 minutes. It's about a 2 minute long cooldown. At this point, you know, probably about a minute and a half until it is fully back up. But that's not the end of the world, because Dragon's not up until for another 3.5 minutes. There's no Herald until for another 2 minutes. So even if they wanted to fight around this Herald coming up in the next minute and a half, he's gonna have his ult in time. Now, Thunder McBuster does have a full Ludens, and he is up about 20 CS over this Ahri. I like what he's doing. He's bringing the pressure. He's able to get these roams off, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's pushing his wave, and he's roaming with his jungle. Ahri's doing the same.
Oh, we have both the supports coming up.
I love the support roams. I love when supports try and get active in this mid lane. They try and make something happen, get their mid laner ahead. Ahri's Qs are just getting stronger and stronger, but a little bit of a heal is going to come out from this Tart. Try to sustain this Oriana. But outside of that, not much is going to happen. They're just waiting for this Rift Herald to spawn in the next 30 seconds. So they're trying. These supports roamed up nice and early, trying to get some vision down. But let's see if Conduit Esports is going to be able to find a pick or burn any key ultimates or summoners prior to this Herald, because they're definitely prepping for it, and Udyr is already roaming. Both AD carriers are going to be in the bot lane, just farming it out, doing the best they can to try to get a lead just off of their CS.
Oh,
It's a nice root coming through from the Jhin. This Jhin is going to start hurting more and more, especially once he gets that static shiv, but that 4th shot's going to do some damage.
ooh. That came out pretty even.
Yeah, that was definitely even trade on both sides, but now the charge is getting... Ooh, the dredge line is going to land, but that's a 2-man stun coming through. Now everyone else, the Oriana ball is just going to be sitting there as defense, but now that's a massive 3-man shockwave coming through, but here comes the rest of the ults for this Taric, and now they're going to follow. They get 3 kills, and now they're trying to get this Ahri while he can. The Oriana trying to get out, but the flash comes through, and it's not going to be enough. The Ahri is still going to go down, but the Oriana falls, and that's going to be a 3-for-1, well, I'm sorry, a 4-for-1 trade in favor of Subatomic Gaming.
That shut down 600 gold shut down to Ahri. That might be just enough to get her back in the game with Ori.
Oh no, definitely. He definitely going to be sitting sitting nice. He really wanted that shutdown. So for the Ari specifically, that was a beautiful shutdown gold. But for the side of Conduit Esports, that was not a favorable fight, and it kind of put them a little bit farther behind. Though the gold lead is only about a 1K gold lead in favor of Subatomic Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Though I'm gonna mispronounce this name. I always do, but I believe it's called Maleligence. Maleligent. I can't say the word.
Malignance.
Malignance. There we go. I can never say the word. I apologize. But Ari, building this is a key component on this Ari. This is really gonna bring a lot of team fight pressure. But hold on, this Ori's gonna get called out.
Oh.
The Thunder Buster is gonna have to try and do something. But here comes the Udyr. The massive shockwave is going to go through, but this Viego is going to be able to secure the kill. The stun's not going to land. He's going to ult away, but they're trying to get these kills. I think they're going to be able to run him down. Subatomic Gaming able to trade 1-for-1. Now the curtain calling comes out, but no one's going to be in the curtain calling. He's going to have to go ahead and cancel that out, but that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade going in the favor. I'm sorry, just a 1-for-1 trade. But oh, hold on, the Ari coming through, but the stun's going to land. He has no more ults. Everyone's trying to jump onto this Ari, and that is going to be a dead Ari. But now, can they return the kill onto this Tark? The killer instinct's going to come through, but it's still barely enough that the Nautilus is already going to fall. So it's a 2-for-1 trade so far, but now they're trying to get this Kaiser before he gets under the tower, and he is going to get under the tower, but a double kill goes over to the Udyr, and he gets out alive. He gets out alive. While we have the opportunity, everybody, I'm going to run this replay back real quick. When you see how this went, the Ari had 1 charge left. He dives forward, trying to land that charm onto the Udyr, but it just barely missed. And while everybody was able to just dive onto him, it became a 3v2 real quick. And then they tried to focus down this Tark, but it just wasn't enough. And then they finally were able to get him. And then it just was a clean dive after that for the Udyr. But going ahead and jumping back into live, not much is going on outside of that. They are really bringing everything to the table. Both teams are playing amazing, and it's only a 2K gold lead going into the favor of Subatomic Gaming right now. But this dragon's up. It's dragon number 3. We are on an infernal rift, so infernal rift for this game. So this is going to be massive for either team, and these dragons are really going to start becoming a priority. We get a rift herald charge. Not too much else is going to come out of that, but that was just to buy time for this Udyr to be able to secure this dragon.
This is the infernal. Is it? This turns the map, right? No, it's the third one.
No. After the first 2 dragons, it then becomes a new dragon. So, a nice flash stun root coming through the chain CC, but the killer instinct is going to follow. Now everybody's underneath the tower. D-Shot is trying to do his best to just get everybody out, but that shockwave is going to land, and the curtain calling is going to land for a double kill onto this Jhin. This is massive. The Jhin sitting at 4-0-3 already has a collector, is disgustingly strong. Even though he might be down in CS, he is ahead of this Kaiser in every means necessary. Counter strike coming through, it is not going to land. The ult has to come out of the Ari. Meanwhile, Viego stealing a red buff. He's going to try and get out, see if he can get out of this alive. He ults over the wall prematurely. But there's plenty of Subatomic Gaming members around. Oh, he is going to be able to get that back. We will be fine. This Tark taking some chip damage.
Trying to get rid of some of this vision here.
Oh, definitely. Both teams playing phenomenally. And if you look at the map, Subatomic Gaming has vision everywhere. They know exactly where this Viego is and isn't, and or if the support is roaming.
I will say, though, that blue ward up where Udyr is right now, very good ward. No one ever checks that bush early on.
No, it definitely takes a couple minutes. Usually most people start checking that brush around the 27-minute mark, give or take, unless someone really just passed kind of awkwardly for like a Baron attempt. But speaking of Baron is going to be spawning in 10 seconds, and the next Infernal Drake does not come up for another 3 minutes. So we're going to see both teams really posturing around this top side, but we see we see Subatomic Gaming really trying to pressure and proxy these waves, and now they're looking to go in. They get the stun, they get the root, and here comes the ult coming out of the turret. They're trying to continue to run down D-Shot. Will he be able to get out? The calling comes up. The counter strike is up. The volley ults backwards, but it's not going to be enough. And threads the needle. And Jin is able to secure it, and here comes the charm, and they're going to look for the re-engage. Now the resets are coming through for the Viego, and that's a massive shockwave, two-man shockwave coming out from the Orianna, and that's going to be a double kill from the bounce from the Jin, and that's going to be a triple kill for this Jin, and that is beautiful. That is a 4-for-1 trade going in the favor of Subatomic Gaming. But now, are they going to try and find this ace? Are they going to be able to get anything more out of it? No, they are not. They're going to turn their eyes to this Baron. They're going to try and secure it if they can. And while they're doing this Baron, I'm going to revert our eyes to that replay coming in. We see everyone going for this tower dive. The volley bear had already ulted, but that Jin threaded the needle with that forced shot from the calling. But everyone was able to jump onto this Udyr. But the three-man counter-strike into a two-man shockwave was just enough from and then the grenade bounce coming out of the Jin was absolutely beautiful. And now we're going to see this Baron being picked up by Subatomic Gaming and having a nice 5.5K gold lead over top of Conduit Esports.
And that last team fight, kind of what I wanted to see. I mean, Udyr wasn't really in the fight because he died so early, but I really like seeing the Jax go in and stun with that Orianna ball to make a really good combo there to wipe out that front line.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely wonderful. Subatomic Gaming really played to their strengths in that team fight, and they played around what they could and couldn't do for it as well. Even though they had to go underneath the tower, they knew their limits, they knew their strengths, and they were able to secure a nice 4 kills. In this Jin sitting at 8-0-3 with a completed Infinity Edge, a completed Collector, and he's working towards that rapid fire cannon right now. He is disgustingly strong.
Oh yeah, Jin's about to be an absolute menace with that front line and the Taric ult. It's gonna be really hard to get him shut down.
Absolutely. And when the Taric throws his W on top of this Jin, all Orianna and Jin have to do is stand on top of each other, and everyone else stands on top of this turret, and they all become invulnerable. They all can't die, and they can just go in, full send their team into these into Conduit Esports, and they're just gonna absolutely wreak havoc. But here comes the ult out of the Ahri. He's trying to get out to safety. The stun was gonna come through, but it wasn't gonna be enough. Now Drake number 4 is spawning, and all of Subatomic Gaming are already postured around this. There's no TP on this Jax though, so he's gonna be looking to just split push while the rest of his team tries to grab pressure on this dragon.
Looks like blue side give up that dragon. They already knew that they probably wouldn't get pro for it.
No, but now these W's coming through for the Kaiser. Ooh, a killer instinct, and it's going to be a nice counter strike, but it's not going to be enough, and that's going to be a good old shutdown going through over to this Kaiser on Conduit Esports. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, they do still have this Baron buff. They are going to be able to burn it down, and both teams do have three grub stacks, so they are going to be able to do a little more extra damage to these towers, and they're going to really utilize this Baron play.
I think at this point, the only way to really get them back in the game, maybe Ahri might have to start picking them off, but it's so hard when they move together so much, and Taric is really running around with his Jin.
Oh,
so trying to get any kind of a lead for her.
No, absolutely. This Jin is just wreaking havoc, and these grenade bounces on top of it is just absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that he didn't opt into Static Shiv is actually very surprising. He's going the old, tried and true crit and burst you down Jin.
Yes, he is. I don't knock it. He knows he's strong. He's like, I don't need it. I can burst him down with what I got.
No, definitely. But at the state of this game is right now, even though Subatomic Gaming is doing very well, I want to know how they're gonna, how Conduit Esports is gonna be able to try and come back into this game if they can, because they're not completely out of it yet. But Subatomic Gaming are able to secure that tier 2 tower in the top lane. They are fully, they're a 4-man stack running 4-1 with this Jax in the bot lane, which is exactly what I want to see. Whether they have Baron or not, this is exactly what I want to see. 4-man stacking out of Subatomic Gaming and Jax just split pushing. But I really want to know how this Conduit Esports team can try and fight their way back into, or claw their way back into this game, because they're falling more and more behind, but they aren't completely out of it yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious too. I mean, it's kind of hard with the Jax split, and I'm not too sure if Ari can really match him. Their best bet might be to have Ari kind of play side, like in jungle area, and maybe try to get a pick off, but I'm not sure with how beefy their front line is. It's kind of hard for her to really do some poke damage on them.
No, exactly. And personally, I really want to see the Volibear match this Jax. Ari is too strong to be having to match the Jax in the side lane, because if any type of scrimmage comes off in a 4v4, this Ari needs to be there, because that's the only way that they're going to be able to even have remotely be able to get some of these wins in a fight with a nice clean charm and resets on that ult. The Ari just needs to be with Conduit Esports.
Baron up in 20 seconds, so looks like these teams are going to start fighting for vision over that. Red side's just like, this is my jungle now.
Ooh, that's a nice blast cone over the wall. So because Baron's coming up, either Subatomic Gaming need to just absolutely burn this thing down now, or I want to see them wait it out and trade the soul point of the dragon for Baron, and then be able to close out on the next Baron play. If they're not going to try and burn it down now, or if they're not going to be able to get some picks, I want to see them just trade it for the dragon and really focus their lanes and really focus on breaking open this base and being able to get ahead. But ooh, there's that nice ultimate coming out of the Volibear, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Nautilus is here. The ultimate's going to come out. He's going to follow up with a nice little root. He's waiting for the dredge line. Here comes a killer instinct coming through, and that is going to be a kill going over in the favor of Conduit Esports onto this Jax. But meanwhile, Subatomic Gaming was able to secure that Baron.
At least in a way, Jax won't have the Baron buff, so it would make split pushing a little less difficult for Volley to match the Jax if he does. Because split pushing Jax with the Baron buff would be absolute killer on this team.
Oh, 100%. And now we're looking to see this base get broken open. This is exactly what I mean. The Jhin is just so strong. He's just bursting down these towers. Now the Calling's coming open. That's a massive 3-man shockwave, and everyone's trying to get out of the Calling. Everyone's trying to walk away, but all of Subatomic Gaming is just running them down. That's a double kill going over to this Udyr. Now they're trying to get some more. They're trying to get another kill. The Jhin is able to secure another. Now they're running down D-Shot. He's going to dredge line back to safety, but it's not going to be enough. They're going into the fountain, and they're trying to get a clean ace, but they're not going to be able to. They're going to be able to get this inhib, and they're going to work towards ending this game. Can they do it? The Ari is the only lone survivor. They're all focusing onto this tower. The flash comes through. The counter-strike misses. But everyone else on the side of Subatomic Gaming is going to be able to secure that win. And this is game number 1. But while we have the opportunity, I'm going to throw that replay back for that final fight. Everything was going great. The Cullen came up, but that massive 3-man ultimate coming out of that shockwave was just huge. It turned the tides. Everyone automatically thought they needed to start running, and the stuns come through. The ultimate came down from the Tart, and they just were running and gunning, and they were trying to get everybody. And even though they misstepped and went underneath this tower, or underneath the fountain, it wasn't enough for them to just finish. For them to throw the lead. They were able to back off, recompose themselves, and they were able to finish out that game for a nice 1-0 victory so far in game number 1.
Yeah, and the Jin closed that game out 9-0. My goodness. That's like that's like what you really want to see out of an ADC, you know, just out there killing the whole team without being touched whatsoever.
Exactly. But that is going to conclude game number 1. I'm going to see you all in game number 2.
always having bad luck. You think you're going crazy. Look up, there's a new life waiting. Your head's buried in the sand. You've been dealt the wrong hand. Can't imagine how you feel. Only you know that it's real. Don't look back, just carry on, carry on, carry on. Don't look back, just carry on, carry on, carry on. Because you are stronger. Yes, you are stronger. Because you are stronger.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 of Conduit Esports Phoenix versus Subatomic Gaming Chameleon. We had a wonderful game 1 draft coming through, and a game 1 that left no questions unturned. It was a phenomenal game from both sides, and I absolutely love what everyone brought to the Rift. And if we can have a game number 2 like how we just had, I know for a fact we're going to be in for a full 3-game series.
Wow, this thing is really broken. Can't see nothing.
Yeah, we are having a little bit of trouble on that, but it's perfectly fine. It's I don't know why it's having some trouble, but it is, it is what it is. But we do see the bands finally coming through. We see the Amumu, the Syndra, and the Skarner coming through for Conduit Esports. But on the side of Subatomic Gaming, we see the Ivern, the Hui, and the Mordekaiser. So for both of these,
Ooh, the Jarvan pig. I'm excited to see who they pair this with.
exactly. I think if we can see anything like what came out of game number 1, these team fights are going to be absolutely phenomenal. But we do see the B1 of Conduit Esports being the Jinx, and this Jinx is in a phenomenal position right now. So seeing whether or not it's lethality or if it comes to being the crit build, we're gonna have to wait to find out. But the J4 with this Kog'Maw is really strong in a very good position right now. So I'm kind of curious about how they're gonna pair this, because the Lulu is taken away from Conduit Esports, and that is the beautiful duo that you would love to see come through with the pair.
Lulu.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, they took that. They're like, no, we're not dealing with that.
No, absolutely. They did the best that they could for game number 1, but we do see the Xin Zhao coming through for Conduit Esports.
We're gonna pick this Braum into a Lulu. That'd be a very interesting.
Well, with that being said, Braum Kog'Maw used to be a phenomenal duo bot lane. It used to be so strong that it was actually stronger than Kog'Maw Lulu, because at one point Kog'Maw used to be called Turret Kog'Maw. I don't know if y'all remember this. This is back from about 2016, 2017 era. This was a beautiful bot lane because Kog'Maw literally didn't have to move. He pressed W, he stood still. All Braum had to do was auto attack anybody. Everyone got stunned, and it was an instant kill coming through for whoever had that duo. So I'm curious to see how they're going to be able to do it. Even though it may not be as strong as it used to be, it's still very strong to this day.
Yeah, that's just hoping Braum can land his Qs or get close enough for an auto before Lulu can polymorph him.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the bands to come through visibly. For whatever reason, they are slightly behind on what's actually being picked, but we do see the LeBlanc coming through for the side of Subatomic Gaming. Again, I think this is a phenomenal pick, and the Gwen is being banned out again against the top laner of Subatomic Gaming on the side of Conduit Esports. So 2 very good bans coming through, and the Cassiopeia is going to be the next ban coming out for Subatomic Gaming. I don't know too much about this mid laner on the side of Conduit Esports, but he clearly has very good skill around some of these mid laners that have good dueling potential and burst potential, because this LeBlanc is apparently one of his picks that he wants to play, so it's always being banned out. And then this Cassiopeia, it's just a phenomenal ban, because if the J4 and the Braum want to go in, all the Cassiopeia has to do is just ult, and everyone's stuck in place.
Yep.
So both teams really thinking about their drafts, really thinking about what they want to do on this rift. And I love how both sides are really thinking about what they want to bring to the table for this game. And this is going to be an R4 Aurora. Now, in pro play, it's typically seen in the top lane. But this is Emerald Diamond. It could go mid. Thundermic Buster is known to play it, but it could also be in the top lane. So this is a beautiful flex, and they're going to wait to see what Conduit Esports pick to decide whether or not the Aurora goes in the top lane or the Aurora goes in the mid lane.
That Aurora Jarvan is going to be chef's kiss.
Yeah, no, it's one of those picks that it's just so strong. And if I'm not mistaken, she did get some nerfs or hot fixes since her release. So she's not as strong as she was, but she's still very, very strong. But this Galio pick's going to come through. I think this is beautiful. The Cassante is going to be the last pick coming through for Conduit Esports, but the Galio in the mid lane, being able to have that semi-global ultimate once he reaches level 6, and this Cassante, all Xin Zhao has to do is jump in, or if anybody gets caught out, Galio is there for the save. He is going to jump. He is going to go, and I cannot wait to see what this mid laner can do for Conduit Esports, because I think this is a phenomenal pick into the draft, or onto the in this draft for Conduit Esports against Subatomic Gaming.
Darius into Cassandra. I'm not too familiar with this matchup. How do you feel about these two?
So Cassante has gotten some picks, or has gotten some buffs, especially in the 14.19 patch. He did get a little bit of a buff. He was always in a pretty much well-rounded spot. Even though he did take a win percent decrease a couple patches ago, he was still in a pretty overall good spot. But this Cassante into Darius specifically, Darius just wants to land his Qs. If he can land his Qs, land his pools, things like that, it's going to be great. But really, it's just going to be a farm match in the top lane. And whoever can get that little bit of a lead from both sides is going to be able to kind of bring that to the table for the team fights. I don't want to see too terribly much coming out from this top lane. I just want to kind of see them battling it out, trying to get lane prio, trying to deny some CS or deny some XP, things like that. Just play this match out to the best of their ability for what they know. But when it comes to these first team fights, especially around this first round of grubs, I want to see both of them roam, and that's really going to determine who takes control of this top lane, the Cassante or the Darius. That's what I want to see. Play safe, wait, get your level 6, and join your team for these first round of grubs, and then we're going to see really who can try to take over this rift, because that first round of grubs is really going to make or break this first game, or break this second game. But,
yeah, I definitely see that for sure.
No, But all in all, though, both teams drafted amazing. You have very good peeling out of the Conduit Esports for this Jinx. Like we've said before in prior games, this is protect the president. This is protect the Jinx, keep this Jinx alive, allow this Jinx to go. Yes, the Cassante strong. Yes, the Zinzao can be strong. Yes, the Galio can be strong. But when it comes to these later team fights, these later overall fights in this game, the Jinx needs to be online. So seeing some early game ganks coming out of this Zinzao in the bot lane, trying to get this Jinx ahead, allowing the Galio to just roam with his jungle when he can, and Cassante to be on an island by himself. That's what I want to see coming out of Conduit Esports. But for the side of Subatomic Gaming, they have a beautiful 2v2 matchup in this bot lane with the Kog'Maw Braum. It's a phenomenal duo. But then when you bring into the 3v3 matchup with this J4 can really disrupt this 3v3 matchup with this flag and drag, with the shields, with the slows, things like that. Slows stacking on top from the J4, then following by from the Braum, and then the stuns coming through. This is going to be absolutely phenomenal. But when it comes to full-on 5v5s, they have a beautiful front to back, but they also both have very good pick potential. So if someone gets caught out, these flag and drags, these Galio taunts, these Aurora ults, they're all going to come into play. And I cannot wait to see how explosive these team fights are going to be.
Oh yeah, same for me. I'm pretty excited to see how it goes, especially with the what is the word I'm looking for? Initiation from Jarvan, followed up with the Braum. I'm kind of excited to see how the other team will respond to that, whether it be a Lulu ult, a Zinzao ult, or Galio ult. I'm ready to see how this plays out, how well each team can survive each other.
Exactly. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go into a quick break while we wait for this game to load up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back into game number 2 of Subatomic Gaming versus Conduit Esports. I do just realize that everybody is still on the same side. I had that mixed up. I do apologize. But moving forward, we do see a nice little 5-man invade or 5-man stack in the top lane coming out of Subatomic Gaming with a nice little 5-point coming out from the side of Conduit Esports.
Oh, goodness. I fixed my mic, sorry. I hope you don't hear all this background noise.
No, you are perfectly okay. Though I do want to bring to attention what I've been noticing recently when it comes to these to the junglers specifically. They've opted not to buy a health potion in the start of the game. That extra 50 gold is what can help make or break getting that very first item from their full jungle clear. Now, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I am not a jungler by any means. But what I've been noticing recently is players doing that. So we do see these nice little short trades coming through from the side of Subatomic Gaming, but I'm not expecting too terribly much out of either side, at least in these first couple of levels.
No. I am used to Lulu's going crazy with the pokes, though. It looks like she's trying over here. Oh? Early level 2?
Yeah, they did get the early level 2. They are going to be able to get some damage down onto this Braum. It's not the end-all be-all because Braum does have the most health potions, but Kog'Maw is... I can personally say this for myself. Being a former AD carry main before switching to support, Kog'Maw does have a lower attack damage in the early stages, and it kind of throws off your ability to farm properly for these first few waves. And I'm curious to see if Resilient is going to be able to really maximize his CS. He seems to be doing okay so far, but a lot of people tend to forget that Kog'Maw is a lot harder than people think. Oh, here we go. The jump forward was not good enough. The Q comes through, but the exhaust follows from the Braum. The stun comes through in the flag and drag, and the Jinx is going to end up going down with a first blood going over to the Kog'Maw. Now the stun comes through, and they're trying to finish the kill off on the D shot, but I don't think, oh, it is enough. But Resilient is going to trade his life, and it is an execute for the side of Subatomic Gaming, and that, ladies and gentlemen, was phenomenal coming out of Subatomic Gaming.
Wow. Just wow. I was surely sure that he got hit.
Little engage coming in. The Galio trying to get a nice little trade, but this Aurora went Conqueror instead of Electrocute. Now he's trying to get the kill, but he didn't flash forward. He only needed one. He was one tap, guys. He was one tap. For my FPS shooters out there, he was one tap. He was one tap, and that was a true one tap. Not he was one tap and he still had full health. He was truly one tap. So I think he could have burned his flash. He could have got that, but it's okay. He opts to save it because he may need it later.
So, like, this is pretty even, like we were discussing earlier. Just Darius and Cassante kind of going head-to-head with each other. Not really too much going on up there.
Yeah. And really, this matchup's really going to come down to, can Darius land his Qs? That's the biggest thing. Can Darius land his Qs? But we do see this Jinx underneath the tower. The flag and drag comes up. It's not going to be much, but the Chomper's going to come through. Can they land the kill? Resilient is going to be able to get the kill, but they're again, the J4 goes down, and it is an execute, and they get out unscathed. But hold on, here comes the Galio. Galio is looking. The Lulu is trying to land some type of slow, but meanwhile, the Proxy's coming through for the Darius, but the Zinzao is looking for the Q. He's going to land the Q. He's going to go in, and that's going to be a kill going over to the Cassante in the top lane.
Oh, wow. Now we got a technically 3-0, but 3-1 Kog'Maw. That's really good for... Kog'Maw's kind of late game, isn't he?
Oh,
She?
We're gonna go with the pronouns today. It is it. We don't know what it is, so we are not gonna give it a pronoun. We are not trying to get banned, ladies and gentlemen. So because of this, Kog'Maw is, yes, a late game scaling champion. It is considered a hyperscale champion, and the more items he has, the more attack speed he has, the stronger he gets, and the more dangerous he becomes. But these grubs are now up. The dragon has spawned, and that's a massive Aurora coming in, and that's the flag and drag coming in from the flash, but the taunt comes through, but the knockup happens because he tried to dash away, and the flash finally comes out of this Aurora and able to land that kill. I am so glad that he saved his flash, because he is able to kill this Aurora in the mid lane with the assistance of his Jarvan. Now they're going to have a nice little scrimmage coming off over the Tri-Brush, but this I don't think is worth. The Braum is going to end up going down. I think maybe the Q lands. Is he going to take the dive? No, the stun comes through, and the Resilient is able to get another kill, and they are able to survive. And meanwhile, on the top lane, in the top side of the map, the J4 is securing the first round of grubs for the side of Subatomic Gaming.
Oh my goodness.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is getting out of hand very quick, very fast, and I am so very excited to see what Conduit Esports is going to be able to do to get themselves out of this situation, because right now the odds are stacked against them. This is game number 2 in a best of 3, and I am really curious to see if they're going to be able to pull something out and be able to come back and bring this to a 1-1 series, so that we can have a full 3-game series.
Still a little bit of a regular standoff here at the top lane in their little island.
But this is exactly what I wanted to see. This is why I said this. The Darius and the Cassante, just farm it out. Just farm it out. Now, granted, there was no fight over the first round of grubs, because all the fighting is coming in the bot lane. So this prolongs it to the next round of grubs. If they have to have a fight over it, that is when we're going to see whether or not this Darius or Cassante is going to start taking over the game.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, everyone forgets about that unstoppable. It doesn't pull him back, but now he has a nice little Q3. He's going to get the knockup, but is he going to ult? The all-out comes out, but the flash comes through, and it's not going to be enough. He dashes forward, and now he's going to be able to get the solo bolo in the top lane, and that's going to be 2-0 on this Cassante, and he gets out alive.
Wow. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I still be struggling on what that character does. I'm finally getting the hang of it, but it's hard to tell when you got that stack on you if you don't know what you're looking for.
Oh man, Cassante is just a wonderful champion. If you can learn him, if you can learn his kit, he can carry games. I don't know if anybody pays attention to some of these pro plays when everyone starts putting in that Cassante has 400 armor, 200 magic resist, 300 AD, has unlimited dashes, unlimited shields. It is true. All of it is true. It might be spam in chat, but it is true. Cassante is a monster in the top lane if you know how to pilot him correctly, and clearly CZI knows how to pilot him.
First dragon goes to red side.
Yeah, Subatomic Gaming able to secure that first dragon. They also got the first round of grubs. The next set of grubs, I'm not entirely sure when it's going to spawn, but I will make sure that I pay attention to the map. But right now, not too terribly much is going to be going on to the bot side, but this 4-1 Kog'Maw, already having Berserker Greaves as his first back, he's building into this Bork? No, he's building into Rage Blade. This is the Rage Blade first item. He's gonna go first item Rage Blade, and the item that I cannot say for the life of me is coming out of the Aurora, and this is a beautiful first item back for
Malignance.
Thunder McBuster. I will never be able to say that correctly. I apologize. But that's my, everyone has that one word they can't say. That's mine. I can't say it. I'm sorry. But Aurora, beautiful first item back. Able to have this in his pocket. His ultimates are already going to be doing massive damage for these team fights. And I'm so excited. Oh, the taunt came through, but nothing landed. Now the flag and drag comes, the knockup comes, the stun comes, and now here comes the Aurora with a massive ult, and they're all going to turn their attention onto this jungle. But now the Galio is able to ult, and everyone's able to get out alive. And a flag and drag comes through, but nothing else comes. The taunt only lands onto the Braum. I think they're all going to walk away from this, but Grubs is spawning in under a minute. Now they're turning their attention. Okay, Grubs are up now. The flag and drag comes. The Unstoppable is there. Now everybody on the side of Subatomic Gaming is trying to get onto this Cassante, but Cassante did the all out. And now they're split. Their damage is split. They need to turn around. They need to focus onto this Cassante. Cassante doing the best that he can. The Darius is spinning. He's able to get this bleed on. And CZI is still alive, but now he finally goes down. And they're able to secure that kill. And Thunder McBuster is going to push out this mid wave. Keep them occupied in the mid lane, while all 6 Grubs are going to go into the favor of Subatomic Gaming uncontested.
Ooh, that's tough. Tough for blue side without that extra pushing power. So it's really good to have those Grubs on Jinx, but now we have it on Kog'Maw, whose Rage Blade is going to be giving him, a lot of attack speed, right?
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of attack speed. I believe after 4 stacks, every 3rd auto attack has an additional attack. So he's really going to be dishing out this damage early on. And I'm curious to know what he's going to build after this Rage Blade. He should have enough now to build his Rage Blade on this back. Oh, he went into Bork.
It's Bork.
I mean, granted, this is the first item back that most Kog'Maws go, but I could have sworn that was going to go into a Rage Blade.
It's even better for the dueling.
Especially the front line
survive
on the side.
longer. Mm-hmm.
This Bork. Now, granted, I did believe he was going to build Bork, and I thought that was going to be a second item, but I really thought he was going Rage Blade first. But this Bork is massive because the front line coming out of Conduit Esports with this Cassante and this Galio is just going to be massive. And then on top of it, with the Lulu ult coming through on anybody on the side of Conduit Esports, he's still going to be able to burn through them.
Resilient coming out in a 4-0 game again. I don't count the first, it was an execution. Still haven't technically died yet.
Well, that's fair enough.
Really?
Everyone has their rules, and that's one of yours, so I am perfectly A-okay with that. But meanwhile, both sides doing the best that they can, but that's going to be a nice little pull into a Q from this Darius. He's doing Darius things in the top lane. He's not too worried, but they are both sitting on 2 kills. But this Darius has a 20 CS lead over top of this Cassante. But mind you, Darius opted into going Boots of Swiftness first, where Cassante opted into going Iceborne Gauntlet first. So this Iceborne Gauntlet is a massive power spike for the Cassante, and I think that this is going to be enough for him to actually be able to duel this Darius one-on-one. And we're going to be able to find out right here, right now. Ooh, oh, that's a massive ult coming through, but it's not going to be in the tower range. This the all out's going to be, but it's not enough, and the Darius is going to win that 1v1. But I saw what he was trying to do. He was trying to go underneath the tower with him. It just wasn't enough. He took him out of the tower range on the other side.
That was such a fat slow by Darius. I didn't know he could slow like that. I haven't gone against a Darius in a long time.
Yeah, it's the W from Darius. It's an auto attack reset, and it also applies a slow. And people sleep on the slow. It's kind of like Nasus. People sleep on the slow. Nasus is slow. It's basically an exhaust. It's basically a stun.
Mm-hmm.
Early level ranks, it's not going to be too terribly bad. But when these later stages of the game come and he starts reaching these it starts getting closer to level 18. Ooh, that's a massive flag and drag, but here comes the Aurora ult. It's not going to be enough. Here comes the Glacial Fissure. That's going to be enough. The stun comes through, and that's going to be a nice kill going over to the side of Subatomic Gaming in this mid lane on the Galio. And now they're really going to be able to get some pushing prowess onto this mid lane tower.
They just have so much CC for that combo. It's hard to get away once you're caught.
Ooh, another flag and drag comes to a pool, and now the ultimate has to come out from the Xin Zhao, but the Cataclysm lands, and that's going to be enough to secure another kill going to the side of Subatomic Gaming. Subatomic Gaming really doing the best that they can. This Kog'Maw is just absolutely destroying a 1v2 in the bot lane. He's fearless. He's just stepping forward. He knows I'm stronger. He knows I win this. Even though he's down 20 CS, he's up 4 kills. And he knows with his board, he wins.
Really living up to that name, huh? Resilient.
Definitely is.
I love
He
it.
definitely is. Don't worry. I have something planned for when he pops off in one of these team fights. I know what's coming. He's already ahead. He has the carry potential. He knows what he's doing, and I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do in these team fights. But now I want us to all look at this scoreboard. The J4 is up. What is that? He's almost doubled the CS. Matter of fact, he has doubled the CS on the Xin Zhao, and he has 3 levels over him. Level 11 to level 8. This is massive. Absolutely massive. Now, the Sunder Sky on the Xin Zhao is a very, very strong item for Xin Zhao, but he's so far behind in levels. He's getting starved out of his jungle. He's getting pushed out of his jungle, and unfortunately, nothing can come of it. They're trying to go in. The flash comes in. The Lulu ult's gonna come through, but the flash has to come out so this Jinx can get out alive. Ooh, a flash coming out from CZI, and that's going to be enough to keep him alive. But here comes the rest of Conduit Esports. They're trying to just get this Xin Zhao some type of CS, some type of XP, because he is just so far behind. Oh,
Yeah,
the
that's
Braum
really tough.
is gonna get polymorph. He's gonna face check, and the rest of Conduit Esports is gonna be able to jump onto him, and that's gonna be fine. But here comes a massive Cataclysm. But now the Galio is gonna look for the knockup. Nothing's gonna land, but the Kog'Maw is completely untouched in the back line. He's just running through the side of Conduit Esports. He's just ripping and tearing, and he's going to be able to continue to get these kills. And Darius is on the back line fighting this Cassante one-on-one, and they're just going to be able to run through them, and they're going to secure 3 kills. Ooh, that flash. Hold on. Is he going to be able to get the last kill? And he gets the last kill, and that's going to be a 4-0 in the favor of Conduit. I'm sorry, in the favor of Subatomic Gaming.
Oh my goodness, look at all those grubs.
That is a lot of grubs, and look, 18 minutes into the game, they're already breaking open the base. This is unheard of. Most people don't break the base until at least 20 minutes. They're already breaking the base, and it's 18.
I feel like this may be kind of bad, because now blue side has a whole lane that they can farm and try to catch up on. I see the reasoning behind it, because they want to have, all this power in the jungle red side does, but now blue side has something that they can actually farm and try to catch back up.
Exactly. Now, I do want to take note that the Kog'Maw did just finish his Rage Blade, but this Jinx is opting to go the crit build. And even though he's down an entire item, he still has a lot of dueling potential with these team fights. If the Galio can land a massive ult, being that this Galio is going full on tank, if this Galio can land a massive ult, and the Lulu can keep this Jinx alive, and Cassante can just create that space like he's been doing, they still have potential to win these fights. They might be down 10k. Or 11k at this point. They might be down 10k gold. But they are still not technically out. They still have a potential, because it's still extremely early on in the game. Yes, it's a 10k gold lead. Yes, this stuff kind of matters in the early stages of the game, but it's not the end all be all, because they can still get a nice team fight, and they can still come out ahead if they catch them off guard.
Yeah, especially with all this gold that red side is holding over their heads. If that gold even gets funneled into one person, especially if it gets funneled into Jinx, it'll be pretty good for the blue side. They give him a chance to come back.
Exactly. Ooh, that's a nice flag and drag coming up. I think that this Galio is going to be able to get out to safety, but he tries to dash away, but the knockup's going to go through. But now they're looking for the dive, and the Cataclysm is going to come through, and that's going to be a nice kill going over towards Subatomic Gaming again. Now, mind you, Subatomic Gaming has been on fire this all of game number 2. They have secured every objective. They have 6 towers to 1. They have everything in their pocket. Resilient is sitting on 2 items, already a hyper carry. He's going to be able to melt through anyone that he can touch as long as the rest of Subatomic Gaming is protecting him. And this is the best case scenario that Subatomic Gaming can have right now. But for the side of Conduit Esports, they still are not technically out of this. They just need a turtle. They need to do the best they can and try and stop this bleeding. If they can stop this bleeding, find picks, maybe get a shutdown on any one of these members on the side of Subatomic Gaming, they can claw their way slowly but surely back into this game.
Oof.
Oh, that was a nice jump in by the Xin Zhao. He ult, but it's not going to be enough. But here comes the ultimate out of the Galio. The knockup's only going to land onto the Braum. He flashes forward. He's able to get 2, but here comes a Glacial Fissure. But now the Resilient is just melting away this front line. And now Darius is going to have to try and run, but the Jinx is trying to run him down. The Jinx is excited. He was able to get 1 kill. He's able to secure a 2nd kill. Now he's focusing onto this Darius. He's able to secure a 3rd kill. And this is what I wanted to see. This is what I meant. But meanwhile, the base is just being destroyed by Subatomic Gaming. Conduit Esports, they need to back. They need to get back. They need to try to defend this base. But they're going to be able to secure all the Nexus towers. And it's only 22 minutes into the game. They're looking for the end. Here. Oh. Meanwhile, okay, the Between Worlds comes through. They're focusing this Aurora. But meanwhile, the J4, he's pulling an Xpeke. He's going to pull an Xpeke. He's going to be able to get it. The Cosmic comes in, and he is able to secure the final hit onto this Nexus. And he gets the victory for Subatomic Gaming. And he pulled an Xpeke. He pulled an Xpeke. That was phenomenal. Both teams, absolutely amazing coming out from both sides. Absolutely love it. I cannot thank both teams enough for putting on this amazing show. Yes, Subatomic Gaming won 2-0. They will be moving into week number 3, 2-0. Yes, unfortunately, Conduit Esports is 0-2 now in their group, but that doesn't mean that they're out. They can still come back. They can still make it to playoffs. They still have a good chance, and they're a solid team. They keep playing the way they're playing. They're going to be able to really bring this home.
Oh yeah. And my goodness, Resilient with the 4-1, staying resilient, staying to your name.
Absolutely.
Had a very good front line. I'll give it to the Braum. That passive and landing those Qs. Kudos.
Absolutely, absolutely. Both of these teams did a phenomenal job, and I'm so happy to see what they were able to do. And I cannot wait to see what next week brings us. That, ladies and gentlemen, ends week number 2 of the Titan Esports Eternal League. And I'm going to see you all in week number 3. Y'all have a good one.